Hey, what's up everybody? 3D Theory here. Today is October 11th, 2024 at 7:34 a.m. and this is vlog. All right guys, as you can tell, we have our Lazy Day tray printed out, and I must say that one of my most beefy cups that I have, but also one of my favorites, no better way to reset out in nature. It fits in here. So that's something really good to know. This is one of my most beefy mugs I have, and it fits right in. So if you're looking for a standard size mug that'll fit in there, it will. Nothing like a nice warm cup of coffee. But yesterday we finished up the Lazy Day tray and it's looking real cool. He used up about 2 spools of filament. It's really sturdy. We got our silicone collapsible bins here that are food grade. So we can fill them up with chicken nuggets, chips, popcorn, you name it. And you can fill this up pretty well. You could put your phones here. You got your remote bins. And hey, if you got a chocolate bar, like my favorite chocolate bar is whatchamacallit, throw whatchamacallit in there and you could have one each. And your big cup holders here. We also have a slot for an iPad, and I do actually want to fill this thing up and show you how it looks filled up. But before we get into that, I do want to take you back to yesterday night where it finished 3D printing, and I was just super excited to get it off and built out and see how it looks and all that. And so I filmed a video last night of taking it off the print bed and getting it ready. So I'm going to insert that video in here, and when that's done, we'll test this thing out by putting in all sorts of stuff in all the slots and seeing how it looks in the end. Hey, what's up everybody? It is October 10th, 2024 at 7:30 p.m. and I just couldn't wait to show you guys. I was gonna do a live video, but I haven't done one of those yet, and I still need to figure out exactly how I'm gonna do it. But this here is the Lazy Day tray, and man, I'll tell you what, this thing was about to not fit on the Bambu Lab A1, and I was like, what am I gonna do? So I turned on Slim, I think it's called, for the tree supports, and as you can tell, it just cuts it right there. It like doesn't print it out, so that was good news. But nonetheless, these prints are coming out pretty clean. There's a little bit of a line there because of the thickness of the table, but I do want to get these off. And as you've seen in the 3D modeling video here, the cup holders got a little bit of stringing going on over here. Maybe it was a little wet, could have used a little bit of drying, but nonetheless came out good. Here's that remote control area, or you can put like a chocolate bar that's still sealed. But nonetheless, let's get these off the print bed. Let's go in order of what finished first, which was these here. Let's see how easily these will come off. Wow, you gotta be kidding me. That was so easy. Oh my goodness, I love this. I really love these Bambu Lab A1 3D printers. Look at the print quality on this, just fantastic. Wow, we got some stringing in there, but probably got a little bit of moisture in that PETG. All right, now for this one, simple as. Oh man, that is so cool. Very clean. I mean, guys, it doesn't get any much easier than that. Maybe 3.5 millimeters for this wall thickness was a bit overkill, but that thing is super sturdy. So very happy with that. So I got these 2 tubs. This thing's gonna last forever because this thing is so thick. Maybe, yeah, maybe I could have done a 3 or a 2.8 millimeter wall thickness, but we're going in order of what finished first. So the next thing that finished is the cup holders. All right, let's see how easy these are to come off. It's just as easy. These come off so simply, so satisfying. And we do have quite a bit of stringing here, but again, this is due to the moisture for sure. But nonetheless, I did 5 millimeters on this one, so 3 was overkill. This is solid right here. And this would fit, I feel like, most mugs. Very nice. Now for this one, yep. Easy peasy, so satisfying. So that's ready to go as well. And I made these thicker, about 5 millimeters, because I wanted
to make sure they're able to carry the weight of liquid in a cup. And this should do it. All right, guys. And this was the next thing that finished up, which is the top part where you got the cup holders and then the place for the remote control buckets. So let's see how this is gonna come off. I'm actually gonna take this PEI sheet off here and take it off this way. Wow. Wow, that's awesome. Super cool. It's a little heavy, but super cool. We're gonna go over how much filament it used because it used quite a bit of filament. And I actually did flip the print bed to the other side because I really didn't want a ghost image of the things I usually print here to show up, which is this here. This usually the bottom shows up on prints usually. So I flipped the PEI sheet so it's brand new on the bottom so we get a nice uniform look. And man, 5 millimeters was too much. I did 7 millimeter walls here on this. But anyhow, that's that. Let's clean this off. And this, is gonna take a little bit of time to clean up. So we'll do that after I take this one off here. Because this here was the next thing that finished printing. And I did the same thing actually. I flipped the PEI sheet. All right, all in all, I think I can comfortably say this probably used up 1.5 spools of filament, not just this, but like the entire Lazy Day tray. All right guys, well here's the Lazy Day tray. There's one thing I did notice here, and that is, for some reason, these have squares for their raft, if you will, while these are circles. I don't know why that happened. It was a very distinctive difference. But nonetheless, let's see how this came out. I don't want this thing to take forever, so I got my needle nose pliers here. Let me get a little bucket going. I'll probably speed this up so you guys can see a fast forwarded version of me cleaning all this up. Guys, I can't begin to describe how easy that was to clean. That was literally just me with a flathead screwdriver just rotating and pushing forward with like very minimal effort. Now, here comes the big tests. First of all, before I even get this thing put together, I want to see if all those extra parts I printed out and made holes for will fit in there. I'm just gonna go ahead and clean this really quick. All right, first things first, do these fit in here? Like a glove. Beautiful. What about these? Awesome. Ooh, that's one thing I totally overlooked, is this thing's gonna rotate. So if you don't want it to rotate, maybe I can add something in here where there's some sort of something it lines up with. Maybe I could put like a little notch and a cutout here or here so that kind of like a dovetail just right there so that when I put it in, it stays there. But also I can glue this on and it'll just stay just like that. But these fit perfectly. Now comes the silicone trays. All right guys, so here's the silicone trays. Let's start with the small one. Oh man, that is so cool. Now the big one. Perfect. And the medium one. There you have it. Let's open it up. Guys, this is so cool. I really love this thing. And I'll be honest, I've been wanting to make a Lazy Day tray. I've had this idea for probably about 1.5 years, 2 years now. So I'm really glad I finally went through with it and made it. This is so cool. And here it is on the bottom. So the reason why I use silicone is because it's food grade. And also, why did I have them able to come out is so you can wash it. You can use it and then wash it when you're done. You can just, clean them up and put them back. But nonetheless, we are done with that. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this thing together as one. Here's a makeshift phone. Hangs out on there perfectly. You got another spot here. Super cool. This might actually be a little too wide, but again, this is a very small, thin thing. I got to test it out with a real phone, but we'll see. Now, the main thing here is to just get this thing connected. All right. Yep, there you go. That thing should fit perfectly like it did with the Stealth TV tray. Where be my hammer? Here it is. All right, and here's my hammer. I'm just gonna hammer this in a little bit. And there you have it, guys. Overall, that's really solid. All right, guys, so we got the scale here. Let's see how much this thing weighs. This is 1 kilogram and 890 grams. So that's quite literally 2 spools of filament because we're not even counting all that support material that was used. And 1 kilogram is 1 spool, and 1,000 grams is another kilogram. So this is 2 spools of filament. 2 spools of filament worth of weight might be a little heavy, but the upside to that is it's super sturdy and it ain't going nowhere. And you got a nice area to just relax for hours on end. Have some snacks, you know, your remote, maybe you have a couple of chocolate bars there, your phones are nearby, your iPad's there if you even want to put your iPad there. You got yourself some mugs or even a cup, a soda, whatever you'd like. All right, guys, I'm going to go into more testing in tomorrow's video, so I'll see you then.
All right, guys, and welcome back. And here we have a loaded up Lazy Day tray. We got our mug that I really wanted to make sure it fit, and it does. And this is, again, one of my most beefy mugs. We got some string cheese, can, a soda. We got some chocolate bars, little snacks in there. Over here we got our remotes. Let's say you have a couple, they fit in there great. We got some salsa, some tortilla chips, some mixed nuts, as well as a phone. This is another slot for your phone. So you're sitting there in bed, you got everything right next to you, you don't have to worry about anything. And it's not mandatory to use an iPad here. You could just be watching TV up front, and you guys have snacks to eat. And once you're done, you can easily just lift it up and go take it to the sink and wash it. And it's ready to go for the next time around. Now, there are a couple of things that I do want to talk about in terms of improvements, because I'm really trying to make this ready in one go with these 1 week projects. But there are some improvements that I feel like I could make. And one of them is, although this slot was perfect for the Stealth TV tray, because you're going to be eating on it, let's say you're watching your phone at an angle from here, or like that angle that you see there, it's perfect. But I realize we're not going to be watching our phone from here. I mean, you can, but I think that maybe, first of all, we'd probably want to give that half as much free space back there. So whatever that is, we just cut it in half and just give that much free space, and perhaps even make it deeper, because this is supposed to be a storage area for your phone, so you can just pick it up and look at it right next to you. So that's one thing I'd like to change up. Another thing I'd like to change up is this front slot. It's the same size and it works great. And here's the massive iPads. Someone let me borrow theirs for this demonstration. And it works great with this extra padding in the back. It fits right in just like that, and it looks good. But if you don't have some sort of padding to make it a little thicker, it has a hard time staying on here. I'm not quite sure if people use iPads without a case. You know, every tablet I've had or phone or whatever, I usually put a case around it, and that's usually what I design it around, is having that extra case. So when you put it here without a cover on it or a case, it doesn't really stay up as it needs to. So maybe making it thinner would be better, and it'll give it a better chance of holding up. But what do you guys think? Do you guys use cases on your iPads? Because I do. And with the case, it works great. It holds up perfectly, just like that. And again, another feature I'd like to improve upon are these cup holders so they don't rotate. I'd like to somehow maybe put like a dovetail in there so that when you stick it in, it stays, doesn't rotate, and also doesn't come up like that anymore. And likewise with the remote trays, or the chocolate trays, whatever you want to call them, I'd like to put some dovetails on there as well. Now I must say that these are very sturdy. Everything I've made on here is super sturdy, and you can feel it. It feels very dense and strong. And even this thickness here, it's just, when you lift it up, you know you've got some really dense, high quality product in your hand. So I think I'm gonna leave it for this one, because it does carry a lot of things, and I do want it to be sturdy in bed. In future products, I think I'm gonna do a little bit of a test. I'm gonna do, again, a thickness test like we have here. I can gauge from here how thick and dense I want something. So we have this piece here is 3.5 millimeters thick, the wall. And this is a 4 millimeter thick wall. So, you know, it's kind of hard to tell, really, for something this small. Maybe a better test would be to print something the size of a sheet of paper, or maybe, you know, about the size of the print bed, so you can flex it and see if it's larger, how it'll feel. Not sure yet how I'm gonna go about doing that. But overall, this thing is very sturdy. I just want to be able to fine tune all the wall thicknesses so that there's no unnecessary usage of filament. And it's, designed for the purpose that it's being used for. So, all of this is really strong. Does it need to be this strong to hold two remotes? You know what I mean? For example, we have here the box that I 3D printed for my ready prints. And this is 2mm thickness. And it's kind of flimsy. It does feel almost a little too flimsy, but I'm not really doing much with it. It's just for storage. And so when you have it on a card like this, it feels pretty sturdy. When you have it spread out across a larger product, it doesn't feel as sturdy. As you can tell, it's kind of like wobbly there. But when you have it in this small card, you can't really tell. So for larger products, I think making larger testing cards would probably be wise. Again, maybe about this size, and we can start with increments of 1, so we can do 1mm, 2mm, 3mm, 4, all the way up to I think 9. That would be 9 or 10. That would be really interesting to have, and it'll really help fine tune it. Yeah, it's going to take some time and some extra filament to do those sorts of tests, but I feel like what I am hoping to achieve with fine tuning the right amount of usage of filament for the job that it's being created for would help with that. And it would really enable me to not make something more dense or more strong than it has to be and just is kind of overkill, or vice versa, where it's going to be holding up a lot of stuff and it's kind of flimsy. So with this, I am very careful with it. I make sure to only use it very carefully, and it just comes in and out just like these 4 over here, and they just store these prints. But with this here, we're going to be putting a bunch of stuff in it, using it, maybe putting it aside, so I do want it to be a little more sturdy. Now, why did I make this tray? And if you guys have been following along, you might already have the answer, but I made the lazy day tray because I like to have a lazy day. If I'm feeling really tired, close to feeling burned out, I like to just jump into bed for one full day and just close the blinds and turn on the TV and just watch a few movies back to back, eating in bed and just relaxing and really recuperating and recharging. And when I'm with the missus, we like to both do that. And I noticed that there's several times where we'll have like a bowl of popcorn and then some chocolate on the nightstand and our like soda on the dresser, and I'd have to get up and maybe the remote falls under the bed and we got to go pick up the remote, and oh, I left the phone in the kitchen, so on and so forth. And in this way we can just relax, have peace of mind that everything is right here. We can grab some chips, eat it, drink right there. Your phone's right next to you, you got your remotes, desserts ready to serve up. And let's say you want to look up a menu to order takeout or see what else you can watch as you're watching your current movie, and you could just lay in bed and have everything right here. It's like a little console, if you will. And this is the main use of why I created the lazy day tray, so you can have a really fun, comfortable, lazy day with peace of mind. And I just wanted to take a look at the back side of this. As you know, in the 3D modeling segment, I made this a 7mm thick wall, and I feel like that was the right move because nothing's really holding it together here, but it's really sturdy and it's still really strong. We've got 5 dovetails over here that are holding these things together. I haven't used any sort of adhesive on it or anything like that, but I might. And I do feel like this thing is very sturdy. It has a little bit of weight to it, so you got yourself a good product that's going to hold up whatever you put on it fairly well. I really like that sparkly finish because I printed it face down. So it has the PEI sheet finish going on there, and it feels really nice to the touch as well. So there you have it, folks. This is the Lazy Day tray. I'm going to be putting this up on my Etsy shop, and I haven't decided whether or not to offer the file or a fully 3D printed version of it and just ship that out, or offer both. But let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for joining me on today's vlog. Until next time, guys, peace, love, and joy.